What's going on, boys and girls? This is Taylor, and today I'm bringing you another Would You Rather episode. You guys seem to like them, so I'm bringing them forth post haste. I never understood that post haste. What does that mean? Like after you need to be fast, or like post haste, like post comma haste, like post as to refer to a postman, like post haste, like. I don't really know. Maybe we should have a whole episode dedicated to analyzing that phrase. But let's not get distracted, Taylor, because that is something I always tend to do. So if you like these, do me a favor and rate. If not, then do me a favor and rate, and that'd be awesome. So let's get going, and I made an account and I enabled adult questions. I don't really know what that entails since I haven't gone through them. The only time I go through these is when I'm doing the videos, so I feel that keeps it fresh, and I really don't want to be scripting these. I don't want to come across more than one and then have an answer already made up. So, would you rather chop off your own arm or chop off a complete stranger's arm, but they come back to kill you in 30 years? All right. Chopping off your own arm has the benefit of urine control. You get to pick the implement, something lightsaber-ish that would cauterize the wound as it goes. You know, maybe you could find such an implement. I doubt it. Most likely it'd be a very dirty and messy kitchen floor covered in blood. Terrible, terrible experience. I guess if I had to chop my own arm off, I would go into surgery and then just have them surgically remove my arm. But then you have that whole issue of waking up without one of your arms, and that would just be horrifying. Not to say that witnessing the act of your arm being removed, all this to say it's a bad situation, all right? Bad situation. But you chop off the other person's arm, and you don't have to deal with it for 30 years. And you still got both arms, man. You still got both arms. You're rocking that right arm, that left arm, bam, 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 living the life, both hands. Cha-ching. Making it sound like that's such a big deal. Wow, that guy has both arms. He's got his life together. But I'm going to go with chopping his arm off, or her arm off, whoever the stranger is. And if it says they come back to kill me, it doesn't say that they do kill me. And so I'm going to be ready. And I'm not a grade A, like, awesome fighter. But I'm pretty sure that I could take down someone who has one arm, because they're not going to be able to hold big weapons. They're probably having to hire a crony. Actually, nope, that's against the rules. You can't do that. Fictitious person I'm arguing with in the confines of my mind. You can't do that. You have to fight me yourself. So they're probably going to come at you with some sort of knife or something. One-arm knife lunge. There's no way they're going to get you. There's no way. I mean, that's pretty much this whole would you rather is like essentially saying it's a wager about, you know, do you think you'll be alive in 30 years? I hope I'm alive in 30 years. I'll only be 50. And definitely, 50 years old, I'll still be able to take someone down, a one-armed man who clearly, his or herself, they've aged 30 years without an arm. That couldn't have been very pleasant. So, you know, they've got their anger for you, their pent-up rage, their frustration at their life being frittered away because of your selfishness. 58% say cut off a stranger's arm, and 42% of people are lying. So that's interesting. Would you rather be a rock star or a movie star? I would rather be a movie star simply because I feel like your work is more tangible that way. It's not just audio, it's also visual, and you can always go back and watch movies that you've made, and if you make people laugh, you'll always be kind of cemented as a funny guy. And also your personality is just more knowable as a movie star as opposed to a music star. So I'm going to go movie. 60% said movie. All right, 40%. For those of you who aren't too good at math, that's the remainder after that. If you were in high school, would you rather have your face covered in severe acne or be extremely fat? All right, so we've already got this little prerequisite that you're in high school. All right, so this is a definitive period of time. It's going to end. It's definitely not going to extend forever. So take hope for that. You won't be a fat, acne-faced kid forever. I'm going to go with acne because being extremely fat, those are the kids that get made fun of. And when you're in high school, like, honestly, kids aren't really making fun of you for acne anymore. And if they do, I mean, it's not going to be as brutal as the fat kids. I mean, by the time you're in high school, most kids realize, yeah, he has acne. That's not his fault. There's no, you can't really prevent that. You can't really deal with it. I suppose if every day after school the kid sprints out of the school and in front of the whole student body is like rubbing his face in like a dirty puddle, just a cesspool of bacteria and old dog feces and stuff, then that could cause acne, and that could lead to being made fun of in its own right. And I suppose if he's doing that, then that's really a much bigger problem than the acne in the first place, and he might deserve the ridicule. So I'm going to go with acne, and 67% of people say acne. That's good. Not great, guys, but it's good. All right. Would you rather be a unicorn or be a wizard? All right. All right, this is interesting. Stepping out of the bounds of reality, stepping into mischief land where we can just make up anything. Um, all right, so unicorns. What do you got going for them? It's an animal with a horn on its head. I always am fascinated by how like people use unicorns as an example of like fictitious creatures because it's the least creative fantasy creature ever. It's just a horse with a horn on its head. Like at least a Pegasus has wings, and I suppose there could be some sort of unicorn Pegasus fusion, which would be kind of cool, assuming that you could fire something out of the horn and it wasn't just there aesthetically. That'd be pretty badass. But aside from that, it's just a goddamn animal. It's just a horse. So you would become a horse. Like you wouldn't acquire a unicorn. Like you wouldn't get one that you could ride around. You would become a unicorn. Think of the ramifications of that choice. Every human being that you've ever known, every friend, every single person that you've ever loved can no longer talk to you because you're a goddamn horse now. And forget about having sex and getting laid, man. You're one of a kind. Ain't no way for you to get off because you can't even masturbate because you don't have hands because you're a unicorn and nothing exists to have sex with because you're a unicorn. And so you have just destined yourself to a life of loneliness, just a really sad existence, really, where you're just a horse that goes around. Nobody wants you. The only place you can find a job is just, as a traveling circus performer, just dancing around for nickels and pennies and peanuts, hoping to scrape a living by. Nobody wants to hire you as an accountant or as an attorney or something because you're a damn horse. You can't talk. You can't think. Yeah, so pretty much, you're saying, if you want to be a unicorn, then you're saying I would prefer to be an animal with a horn on its head and sacrifice all of my cognitive faculties as opposed to being a wizard, which, in addition to, being a human and being able to speak, also has magic wizard powers. If you do not pick wizard in this situation, then you are hopelessly and woefully retarded, and there's no hope for you. I'm sorry, there's nothing that I can possibly say or articulate to you that would make you any less crazy for choosing unicorn, because this is a stupid decision, guys. Come on now. If you pick unicorn, you're becoming an animal. I can't solidify this enough. But if you pick a wizard, you still get to keep all your friends. You get to still, be human, have hands, be able to have sex with people, because I assume, wizard wieners are probably fairly similar to human wieners. A wizard is just a human, right? Right? I mean, in this game in my head it is. So, yeah, definitely wizard. And 85% of people agree. That's lower than I would have liked. I would have wanted to see like 100% or so. But that's all right. I always expected that there was a decent percentage of people in this world that were mentally deficient. And this solidifies that opinion. So, there you go. All right. Would you rather have no eyebrows or my friends, have a unibrow? All right. Either way, I mean, when you don't have eyebrows, it's just a weird look. Like, it looks strange. You can't initially tell, like, what 100% is wrong with that person, but everything isn't right. It's just a symmetrical issue. It's just not quite right. I mean, maybe after you shaved them off for a while and you kept them shaved, that little patch above your eye would get tan, so it'd be a little bit less weird. But walking around with, like, pale white, glow-in-the-dark hued skin just perched atop your orbital socket, not a good look, not at all. But unibrows, on the other hand, are like even worse because that's like just out of control. It's just like every time you see someone with a unibrow, I mean, some people have like small unibrows and that's different. I'm talking about like honking, big, thick, like a thickness of a man's finger across the top of your brow. Those are ugly. There's something to be said about someone who has one of those and doesn't take the initiative on getting rid of it. So I'm going to say no eyebrows at all, because then at least maybe I can make up some sort of story like I singed them off being a professional fire swallower or something. I don't know. You'd have to have pretty bad aim as a fire swallower to hit it up by your eye, but that's all right. No big deal. 52% said they'd rather have a unibrow. Well, that is your opinion, man. It's just your opinion, man. Would you rather catch your best male friend sleeping with your mom or catch your best male friend sleeping with your sister? Well, damn it. I can't really answer this because I don't have a sister, and so I can't imagine that comparative situation, but I definitely wouldn't want my mom. So I'm going to go with sister just for the fact that I don't have one. And it would appear that 86% of people don't have sisters either, although that wouldn't make sense unless this entire user base is male, which would be reflective of my channel, pretty much. So there you go. All right. If you were starving, would you rather, and I think this is going to be the last one, if you were starving, would you rather eat a plate full of poop or eat a human foot? All right. So one of these things is potentially life-threatening, just a really bad wad of nasty bacteria and disease and danger that could kill me, and one of them is human flesh that, wouldn't be pleasant to eat, but wouldn't kill you. So I'm going to go with the one that doesn't have the potential to kill me. Call me crazy, guys. I know that's a really out there answer, and I'm sure that there's a good number of people who put down that they would much rather eat a big plate full of poop. But I'm going to go human foot on this bad boy. And 20% of people said they would rather eat a plate full of poop. I can't imagine that. That means that in a room of 5 people, given this question, one of those 5 people would rather eat a plate full of poop than a human foot. Think about that. Think of your close group of 5 friends, assuming that your life is pretty much, following the same archetype as most sitcoms. 5 groups of friends, five friends in the group. That means one of them would rather eat poop. What the hell is that? What's wrong with your friends, man? You need to work on that. Pick better friends if they're eating poop. That's an issue. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, let me know with a rating, and if you didn't, then, screw you, man. Just kidding. Love you.